What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're going to talk some salary cap changes in the NFL for 2025 and how it has a major impact on the New York Jets this upcoming season. Good news, NFL fans. The NFL has informed teams that the cap will be going up to somewhere between $277.5 and $281.5 million. And for reference, last year the cap was 255.4 million for reference, and that will be an increase by more than $53 million over the last 2 years. Good time to be an NFL team that spends like garbage if you are looking for a way out of your, so to speak, cap hell with how the cap is rising up significantly year over year. Teams continue to get bailed out by the just increasing revenue of the league. And good news, Over the Cap, which is a great tool on the internet, the website, Over the Cap, has updated their website to indicate a $279.5 million salary cap, which is essentially splitting the difference in the range that is provided by the NFL. And if you're a New York Jets fan, which I'm sure you are if you're watching this video, it means that the Jets will have $23.6 million in cap space, which currently ranks them 20th in the NFL, which isn't horrible. It's not great, but that can change very quickly, and the Jets will end up getting in a more than capable spot. Allow me to explain. Let's talk the three most likely things to happen for the New York Jets. That does not include the Aaron Rodgers post-June 1 cut, which will free up $9.5 million. Now, and on top of that, Davante Adams, who is likely to get released or traded, but let's just say released, it'll count the same for the New York Jets, they would free up $29.9 million in cap space after moving on from Aaron Rodgers, and then from Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers too, but Davante Adams, and then finally the last of the Aaron Rodgers crew, Allen Lazard. If you cut him, that frees up $6.3 million. So really, you take that 23.6, you add the 9.5, the 29.9, and the $6.3 million, and then boom, suddenly you're up to 69.3, which would currently rank them sixth most in the NFL. So in the blink of an eye, with three very obvious moves that are coming, like that, it's not a hot take to say the Jets are releasing Aaron Rodgers, the Jets are releasing Allen Lazard, or the Jets are releasing Davante Adams. That then gets them up to 69.3 million, which would rank them in the top 10 pretty comfortably and sixth overall in the NFL. Honestly, it doesn't stop there. I'll give you some other ones that I think are likely, not guarantees, but the first three are, let's be honest, folks, those are guarantees. The next three are also pretty likely too, I personally would say, but let's see if we could do better than the 69.3. What about CJ Mosley? It stinks to say it. I love CJ Mosley as a player and as a person, but with all the injuries that he sustained in his career, dealing with a neck injury and a back injury now, he barely played in 2024. Unfortunately, I think his time with the New York Jets is done and likely in the NFL, but you can save $4 million with a post-June 1 cut of CJ Mosley. And again, it stinks to lose a guy like Mosley, but I think we're assuming he's not going to come back to the New York Jets. How about Greg Zuerlein? He was horrible last year. Probably going to cut him too, right? You don't want him to be your kicker next year based on how it went. He was one of the least efficient, actually not one of, he was the least efficient kicker in the NFL last year. Another guy who was really good in 2023, wasn't very good for the Jets last year in 2024. His cut would free up $2.4 million. And then fan favorite Michael Clemens, if you cut him, frees up an additional $3.25 million in cap space. So suddenly, again, with three pretty realistic moves, that 69.3 becomes $78.95 million in cap space, which would bring the New York Jets, drumroll please, all the way up to fourth in the NFL. So no, the New York Jets are not screwed by the salary cap in the least heading into 2025. Now, I'm not saying Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn have to go into free agency and spend like drunken sailors here. That's not what anyone is asking, but clearly the New York Jets do have needs that have to be addressed through both free agency and the NFL draft. You can't only wait to the NFL draft because there's frankly too many holes and not enough draft picks for you to fill every hole. And there's no guarantee mid-round picks. Hell, there's no guarantee first-round picks work out. But the Jets have a first, a second, a late third, 2 fourths, 2 sixths, and I believe a 5th-round pick thrown in there somewhere too. Moral of the story, the Jets should be able to fill some needs in the NFL draft, but they also have to do it in free agency. And if you go through where the roster is right now, you could do, and again, we're using both here, the draft, free agency, even throw trades in there, which counts against the cap as well, clearly. They have to fill 2 safety spots. They got to fill a starting cornerback spot. They got to fill a linebacker spot, at least one. They have to fill probably 2 or 3 guys on the defensive line to round that out. They need to find the starting right tackle. They need to find a wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3. They likely have to add another quarterback, and they likely have to add a couple tight ends. So it's going to be a very busy offseason for the New York Jets and for Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn to put their stamp on this team. And again, I'm not saying, you spend right up to the cap, you put yourself in a bad situation going forward. That's not what I'm saying. But the Jets, we're not going to act like the Jets don't have any money to spend in free agency to get some starting caliber guys in here. And I think you want to go on the younger side. You're not doing a 1-year contract with Tyron Smith, the all-in last dance Jets in 2024. That's not what we're talking here. But for instance, should the Jets be spending, I don't know, somewhere between 12 to 15 million on a starting safety? Probably, because their defense is going to heavily rely on that. And there's no shot you're going to be able to get 2 starting caliber safeties in this draft unless you're using 2 of your first 3 picks on the position. And I don't think anyone agrees that that's what the Jets should do. They also should bring in someone decent at wide receiver, whether that's a wide receiver 2 or 3 caliber guy. They might have to pay for a right tackle. That could be approached in the draft. Quarterback, if it's like a Justin Fields, is going to cost you $15 million probably. If it's someone like a Kirk Cousins, a Derek Carr, a Jameis Winston, that's probably in the $2 to $5 million range, we'll say. So the Jets do have money to work with. I just wanted to come on and give you what the total could end up looking like. So while right now, yes, the 20th in the league with $23.6 million in cap space doesn't really look all that appealing, but that number with 6 pretty basic moves goes all the way up to $78.95 million. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.